What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Collider Interview Studio at Sundance 2024. I'm so excited to be sitting with the team behind my most anticipated film of the festival, Love Lies Bleeding. I cannot wait to see the movie tonight.
You're gonna love it.
I have high hopes. Ever since Saint Maud, I've been eagerly awaiting your next film, and tonight's the night. Before we get into our conversation, I have to give a special shout out to our wonderful sponsor, Filmio. Filmio is wonderful because they let us be here at Sundance supporting independent filmmaking. They are also a groundbreaking company that puts the power to greenlight movies in the hands of the creators and the fans. So if you'd like to learn a little more about Filmio, check out their website, film.io. Okay, Rose, you're first up on my list here. I've got two questions about making this your second feature. One, what was it about the story that drew you to it? But also, what did you think you would gain from making this movie next as a director honing your craft?
I think going into it, I just knew that I wanted to, try something different and take some risks and challenge myself. I knew I wanted to make something fun and kind of bombastic and pulpy. I didn't have a clear view of the story yet. I knew I wanted to co-write as well, because doing Maud, loved making the film. Writing by yourself is quite isolating and stressful. So I thought, again, try something different. So I teamed up with Veronica Tafilska, who's a writer-director as well, been friends for years, and we read all each other's stuff. So I basically came to her with this sort of embryonic version of the idea. And then we just locked ourselves in a room for a few months and just kind of brainstormed the whole thing and came up with these characters and just tried to, try out different things and see where the story led us and go with whatever felt the most fun and exciting and surprising and try to make each other laugh.
Probably no surprise. My next question is another complicated two-parter, because I'm always fascinated by the experience of going from a successful first feature to getting your second off the ground, because I feel like there can be a misconception that it's easy. So what is a misconception about what it takes to get your second feature a green light? But then I also want the opposite, something about Saint Maud that did make this process easy for you.
I guess I tried just to sort of not stop and think about it too much, I suppose. I think it was just kind of, there's such an exciting momentum of having got to a point where you've actually made a film, because for so long before that, it's just kind of am I going to get to make one? So I just tried to sort of follow that momentum, I guess. I mean, I was really fortunate that I got to team up with A24 and Film 4 supported us again to develop the script. And everyone took a bit of a risk. So, yeah, I don't know, just kind of went with it.
If you're not taking a risk, is it worth it?
No.
Exactly. I think so, at least. Kristen and Katy, I've got yet another two-parter for the two of you to get into your characters here. When you first signed on to the movie, what quality of your characters were you most looking forward to playing? But then I also want to know a quality you discovered along the way as you started to work together.
Sure. When Rose described the film to me, she was like, everyone's always telling me to write about or at least that we're all talking about women telling stories about strong women. And so her leaning, I thought that intro, because I met her before I read the script, was so funny. It felt kind of hot and petulant. And I was like, what is this going to be? Just really strong women. And then we got a very strong woman to be in this movie opposite my very weak woman. And I don't know, to get back to your exact question, I really like these people a lot, but they're morally defunct and completely willing to justify any bad behavior because of love. And that feels like something that's easy to sort of be yeah, that's a good idea. But really, humans just tell themselves the story that they need to hear in order to get through. And I guess I loved Lou so much. And because she's funny and she's kind of like a good guy, she's kind of like an affable dude. But ultimately, I was like, oh no, we can all just be pretty monstrous because we're all just humans. And I don't know, has anyone seen fucking Oppenheimer? You know what I mean? It's yeah, we're all. So it was surprising to me, having to sort of really love Lou and protect her the whole time. And then when we got to the end of the movie, I was or really more when I saw the movie, I was oh, no, bad guy. But not bad. Let's not be so binary. We've all got it. We contain multitudes, you know?
I feel like that's the perfect combo. Lose yourself in it in the moment, but then be able to still experience the movie even though you made it when you get to watch it as an outsider looking in. That's cool.
Everyone's just tripping to the finish line and like, smashing their faces into each
Literally,
other.
aren't we
At least
all?
it gets to be kind of hot. You know what I mean?
I think Jackie was just this really kind of sweet, naive dreamer, and I loved that about her. But also had a bit of ferocity and maybe a bit of tragedy to her. And I think what was really cool when you put her and Lou together is Lou's very much like the only support I think she's ever had, and very like grounded. And also there's like a really cool masculine feminine juxtaposition where you've got me like a bodybuilder or whatever, and I'm all, you know, putting makeup on and doing my hair and being all cutesy, whatever.
I took care of you.
Yeah, you took care of me. Thank you so much. Lou took care of me. And I was like, yeah, it was so sweet.
One more question for the
A little flip-flop power dynamic. Yeah. Nothing hotter than that.
some good teases there. Another question for both of you. And I love asking this question in general, but in particular when it seems like, I don't know, two characters and their connection together do serve as the beating heart of the film, which is the impression the press notes gave me at least. Can you each tell me something about the other that you appreciated as a scene partner and helped you access something in your character that you might not have been able to reach without them?
I mean, one of the things was, for me, was like, generally I didn't have a lot of boundaries, and I think Kristen was like just really willing to do the things that needed to be done. And we had a scene where you had like a lighter, and like that lighter is near me on my skin. You know, it's like we're living as true to the moment as we can, and we're able to actually feel what's happening in the moment, which is really nice, because sometimes I feel like people be really timid and just kind of be like, oh, I'll hold it, you know.
I wasn't going to fake it for you.
Yeah. We'll just put it in later in post, you know, whatever. It's like, yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah. Do we have a bigger lighter? More fire? Is there a torch around here?
it's very safe.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
I feel like Lou's a tough guy, and the coolest feeling is being thrown over her shoulder and like a little bit flummoxed. Yeah, like, I don't know, Katy and I, we did this like initial audition, and this movie we were both just very much plunged off a cliff into a dark, weird, deep water. And yeah, like there was never a point where we were like pushing each other under, you know what I mean? It was just sort of like, I don't know. It was hard. It was so hard. It was really fun though. And that was definitely because of this like weird alchemical thing that was going on between the three of us.
That's awesome. All right, Jen, I'm going to come your way. Kind of a scene partnering question as well, because in our press notes, it did emphasize that you and Kristen have known each other for a while, and you're playing sisters in the movie, but you've never worked together, right? Not directly, at least.
We were in the same film.
You're in the same film.
That's working together, right?
Well,
I mean,
I've been obsessed with Jen alone since I've been watching movies. And so like when I got to work with her in Into the Wild, I was like, and then we were playing
met
sisters.
more like in press engagements on that film,
Yeah,
you know, because it was
literally.
like, yeah, separate worlds.
What was your first movie of hers that got you obsessed with her as an actor?
Well, I mean, like all the little guy stuff is the cutest thing ever, but like Dangerous Lives of the Altar Boys is so cute. Genuinely, like everything. Yeah.
Jenna, back to you. What is something about having that long-lasting connection that you found influencing the fact that you are playing sisters in this movie?
I mean, I think from the very first time that we met and even circled, I felt a very like oddly like maternal, like older something sister, like we're in the same boat, want to like protect you, build you up, like make sure you're cool. And she just infinitely was. And so I was like, oh, that's so amazing. Like, I'm so proud of you. So yeah, it was a very easy, you know, bridge to build, and sort of there was infinite amount of things we could pull from in the sense of, you know, respecting each other and getting to sort of play off each other and learn to kind of hate each other also in a way, because you know the sibling
say that. I was like,
rivalry.
we have a tough one.
Yeah, there's a lot of seed work of violence in, you know, family dynamics, and I think it's nice to be able to trust someone, to be able to go there in a way that's very authentic, because it can be really scary. I mean, I think it's the birthplace of violence, right? I mean, family dynamics. It's so wild.
Are you able to tease any of that seed work? Like, can you tease what kind of sparked that
Like
friction
right now?
between
Let's
them?
go.
Scene right now. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you can have it. I love you.
I meant more like ideas and backstory, but if you
No
want to do that, I'm all
way.
for it.
Gonna wrestle.
No, when she got mad at me in stuff because we have a tumultuous relationship in the movie, it genuinely destroys me. I'm like, Jenna, don't
I'm like,
do
are you?
this.
Are you? Is this okay? It was fun though. It's really nice to wrestle.
Okay,
Great
so
wrestle partner.
from
So
sister
scary.
to dad, Ed, I'm going to come to you next. I love asking this question when it's a character that seems like they probably like exude confidence and authority, and that's certainly the impression I've gotten of Lou Sr. from what I've read about the film. So at the start of the movie, what do you think his greatest strength is? But then I also want to know what you think his greatest weakness is, the thing that makes him vulnerable in what unfolds.
His greatest strength. Well, first of all, I was really excited to be asked to play Kristen's father, not her grandfather. That was really cool. His strengths. Well, he's an organizer. He knows how to. He's a businessman and he's successful. Some of that's illegal, but you know he's on top of the situation. He is a confident guy, and he's pretty good at manipulating people to do what he needs them to do. That was kind of his strength, I think. I guess his greatest weakness is the fact that he's an asshole. I mean, not play it. I don't think he doesn't think of himself that way, but has not been the greatest dad. His daughter despises him.
And yet he still loves her.
And so I guess that's a weakness,
Exactly.
What can I don't know. And he has a fondness for Beatles, which I think is one of his strengths.
Tell us more about the Beatles.
I was going to say.
It's hard to describe him. He just, he appreciates them. Yeah.
Never thought I'd be so excited to see lighters and Beatles in the movie, but here we are. All right, Dave, you're next up on my list. I warn you, I'm going to bring up The Rental. Also,
Please.
somebody that I used to know too, but I'm a genre lover, so The Rental I watched probably too many times.
That's so nice.
As a director yourself, is there anything you observed Rose doing as a leader on set and an actor's director that you kind of back-pocketed and plan to take to your next feature?
Definitely. Rose, she just sets such a good vibe on set where she is, no matter how crazy the scenes are, it's like she's so calm and sweet and she never feels frazzled. And she just I don't know, it's very comforting. She just comes up and gives you these, she doesn't have to say much. She just gives you these little things and it's just like, ooh, that's genius. And it just
make a meal out of it.
Yes. But really her energy is something that I responded to a lot.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Make more movies, please.
Thank you.
All right, Anna. So for Daisy now, I was told that Daisy, they were once in a relationship that has broken apart, but she's still into her. What draws her to her? But then also, what does that rift mean for the rest of their journey? Or at least, what can you tease without spoiling it?
Ooh, yeah. Still into, I think, is the understatement of the century. She's, I think, kind of pathetically totally obsessed.
I got literally one sentence about your character, and I already felt that in that one sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I imagine that they've known each other for a long time and that there aren't a lot of other, there's not a ton of, maybe on Lou's end, there's not a ton of other options. But I think for Daisy, I think Daisy's so, the movie deals so much with strength. And I think Daisy's someone who doesn't feel strong at all. And Lou seems like this kind of steady, capable presence and is hot and she loves her. I mean, I think she's pretty head over heels. And what was the rest of the question?
I have a habit of doing this. It could teeter into spoiler territory. So as a tease, something about that rift between them that could influence the overall events in the film.
Right. Yeah, tricky to tease
You
without
didn't tell
giving
me
away.
you guys were in a
but what I
relationship.
will say is that, I think so much of what I love about the movie is that there's this weird balance of romance and just completely sinister, shitty behavior, and that felt so true. That felt so true for Lou and Jackie, but I really felt like it could apply to Daisy as well. That she was willing to do, kind of in a really concentrated way. She's just willing to blow it all up for who she loves.
I just want to say real quick, just after hearing everyone talk, it's like everyone's playing a character that's so outside of themselves in this movie in such an amazing way. And again, I go back to Rose, who just kind of like created this like comfortable environment where everyone could take such big swings, and everyone is so good in this. It's so unlike what you see up here.
Yeah. And it was like doing an extreme comedy and like the darkest drama ever, but like all in the same breath, never one scene to the next. It was like, if it's not devastating and hilarious, we're messing it up.
Such good teases. I can't wait for tonight. Rose, I wanted to make sure to ask you this. Kristen had already kind of brought this up, but I have a specific quote from our notes where you were saying that the film is somewhat sending up the idea of the strong female character and questioning what people actually mean by that. Now that the movie is finished and you've had this experience, how have you redefined to you what it means to be a strong female character?
I mean,
Could be that definition.
to be honest, fortunately, I mean, it was always like a fairly throwaway kind of childish response, to be honest, on my part.
No, it's really epic. It's good.
Well, but it's like, I mean, luckily, I think already the whole sort of trope of or concept of a strong female character already hopefully feels a little bit passé. But I guess, you know, it's just a fairly hollow idea. And I guess if the film's sort of about anything, maybe it's sort of, you know, strength for strength's sake is, I don't know, there's no sort of virtuousness in that. I don't know. Yeah, it's just hollow, and let's look at something more interesting and real through a really heightened, weird, unreal story.
Clearly, there's many things about this movie that I'm excited about, but when I read that particular paragraph, I'm like, yes, this sounds like it's for me. Before I have to let you go, Kristen, I have one question for you about your directorial debut, because I was reading another piece that was released this week, and you said that, you know, you were here promoting movies, but also trying to make that happen, and this is the manifestation table. So what will you get for that movie while you're at Sundance that will allow you to leave Park City and go make that movie?
Oh my God, LOL. I was just like, that's all I'm thinking about right now. It's not like this place and like coming to I'm genuinely here for her movie and for Love Me. It's just that it's hard to talk about anything else right now when people are like, what's up? How you doing? I'm like, I'm doing one thing. And it's just trying to get to the point that we can make the film. And what a bummer for you to ask me this question when I'm not allowed to tell you anything.
Fair enough.
I'm making this fucking movie.
I'll change the manifestation angle, and I will just say, like, with authority, because I believe in you all, you're going to have a phenomenal premiere tonight. I'm sure you're going to give me another movie that I'm going to watch over and over and over again. So congratulations on Love Lies Bleeding.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So everybody out there, keep an eye out for the movie. And also big thanks to Filmio for sponsoring us. Stay tuned. More from Sundance 2024 for you very soon.